The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.
Hi everyone, my name is Liz Jensen. I'm a global director with Take Shape for Life, and I have with me co-hosting Jessica Hermanson, and we are just so honored and privileged to get to share with you tonight on the topic of inflammation. Honestly, this is one of my favorite topics. Before I got started as a health coach or even started my health coaching journey, I looked at Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health book, and that's where we're going to talk a lot about today, about inflammation. And I read in chapter 19 all about inflammation. And I had always thought that it was maybe something that older people suffer from, arthritis. It never occurred to me that I might be struggling with inflammation. And so I have just loved learning about this, and we're going to share a little bit more about how this may be affecting you on your health journey. And so we just want to congratulate you for jumping on tonight and furthering your health journey by really working on the hard part, the mental part. You know, it's not all about losing weight and getting, to a certain number on the scale, but the big thing is changing the mindset and really learning how things are impacting your body and how to stay healthy for the rest of your life. So we are just so happy to be on with you tonight. Jessica, I just want to have you start with this tonight and share your story, because I know that inflammation is something that was affecting you before you got started on your health journey.
Thank you, Liz. Yes, inflammation was affecting me for really as long as I can remember in the form of migraines. I'm a busy mom of 7. I had just started a new business. My husband had started a new business. So for about 3.5 years, I had completely neglected my health. I, would go all day without eating. I wouldn't drink my water. I wouldn't manage my stress. I had very poor sleep. I'd wake up and feel like I'd been hit by a truck, and really, I couldn't believe it was morning. And so I just was miserable and about 40 pounds overweight. So, I was introduced to this program and, started taking care of myself, started fueling my body properly, getting the water that I needed, managing my stress, and just enjoying life. I wasn't miserable anymore. And what I love is the ripple effect. My husband's gotten healthy. We've lost 90 pounds together. My daughter, my brother, my sister, my mom, and tons of friends and family. It's just been exciting. And I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with that inflammation anymore, because I haven't had a migraine in over a year, which is really, I'm sure that's not what it's like for everybody, but for me, that was a big life changer, because I was missing out on a lot of, time with my family, and it put a lot of pressure on my husband, because he'd get home from work and I'd have to go to bed and have peace and quiet and no light, and it was awful. So I just love my healthy lifestyle. It's been amazing, and yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. I just love how excited you are for the changes that you've noticed in your life. And you really pointed out several important things. You pointed out a lot of changes that you made. Less stress, that's huge with inflammation. More water, just eating healthier. You're more active. So these are all really things that affect your health, your overall health. And so we're going to talk about a few of these. But Jess, why don't you start us off with, let's find out what other people are struggling with. You want to go ahead and ask this panel question?
Absolutely. So what type of inflammation do or did you suffer from the most? A, headaches or migraines. B, pain in joints. C, low immune system. D, digestive issues. Or E, none or other. So just take a minute and decide what type of inflammation you either do or did suffer from the most.
Yep, and the reason we say did on here, maybe you've already made some changes and you've noticed a difference in your inflammation. So think back before your health journey started, if that's you, and think about maybe what was some of the reasons that you decided to get healthy. All right, 5 more seconds. All right, Jess, what's the answer there?
Okay, so it looks like from our poll that most people suffer from pain in their joints, followed by a close second of headaches or migraines. So
Great.
that is very
Yeah,
interesting.
awesome. Yeah. All right. So tonight, let's start off by talking about, there's 2 types of inflammation. Jess is going to cover what acute inflammation is. Jess, tell us about that.
Okay, so I'm sure all of us have experienced acute inflammation at some point in our lives, whether we've had a sprained ankle, a sore throat, a cut. Acute inflammation is the good kind, where it's your body's first response, your natural response to, oh no, something's wrong. We've got to get the white blood cells there, and some signs of acute inflammation, maybe fever, swelling, severe pain in a centralized area. So it can be good, but it also can be uncomfortable.
Yeah. One thing I like to think of when I think of acute inflammation is, that it is really good. It's kind of your body's way of telling you something's wrong. It's taking care of it. Just help it a little bit. If you sprain your ankle, maybe stay off your ankle, ice it, and it usually is very good at repairing itself, repairing those blood cells and just getting back in working order. But sometimes, your body gets so busy killing off infection and sometimes that dark side can take over, right? And it just keeps killing cells in your body and makes things worse and worse. And that's when the chronic inflammation spreads. So it kind of depends on the environment in your body, if that's an environment that your body can heal, or maybe it's not a healthy environment, so that infection might spread, and that would be more of a chronic inflammation. So Jess, I know you have a special guest on tonight to share her story. You want to introduce Susanna for us?
I would love to. This is my dear friend Susanna. We've known each other since we were about 12 years old, and she watched me, meld away and get some of my health problems under control. She had some health issues as well, but I don't want to take away from her story. So I am so happy to welcome Susanna Harris on the line.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here tonight. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 28. And so I've had it for the last about 14 years now. And I just kind of thought it was something I was going to live with for the rest of my life and just be miserable and try to deal with the pain. But then I realized I could, a lot with my diet and how I felt could help, me feel better. And so I reached out to Jessica and talked to her about helping me with losing weight. And I knew also extra weight on our body puts extra pressure on our joints as well. And so I talked to her, and she helped me with what to do and how to eat better and what foods would help with inflammation. And since last January, I've actually lost 65 pounds, and I feel wonderful. It's helped with my medication. I'm more active in my lifestyle. I used to not even want to exercise because I was too tired or my joints hurt. And so I knew, losing the weight would help with that. And so I've been able to start exercising more. I go running often. I've gone on very big hikes that I never thought I'd be able to do with my husband. And my husband, speaking of my husband, he joined this as well, and he's lost 80 pounds. And so this is something that's been huge for our life and our lifestyle. But the most important thing is how I feel physically. And I just enjoy that I feel younger and I'm more active, and I feel great. So thanks for letting me share.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Susanna. That just makes me so excited to hear these stories every time I hear them. And what a special gift, Jess, that you were able to give to Susanna, a friend, to share the program with her and help her really change her life. And I know Susanna has a couple little boys that keep her really active. And so how fun, Susanna, that you're able to, stay active with them, keep up with them, go hiking, and just feel better. And that's one thing I love about this program is the 65 pounds that Susanna lost. That's a natural side effect of getting healthy and lowering her inflammation and feeling better. So it's kind of a win-win all around. Thanks, Susanna, for sharing that. And congratulations on your amazing progress and your husband getting healthy with him. You're more likely to keep that weight off probably with that support system of your husband, your whole family making those changes. So, all the support you can get is amazing. So good job, Susanna. We're proud of you.
Thank you.
So Susanna fell under that category that when Jessica asked about what kind of inflammation you might be struggling with, she was struggling with joint pain with her rheumatoid arthritis. And that's a really common ailment, a side effect of inflammation is joint pain. But studies show that there's lots of things that can contribute to disease. So inflammation can potentially contribute to disease, mostly because when you have inflammation in your body, your immune system is way lower than if you didn't. And so that's when a lot of diseases can kind of creep up or start in your body. And sometimes it might take years for these things to ever come to play or even know that that's an issue. But one way to help avoid getting these would be keeping your inflammation down, so just to have a better chance of staying healthy in the long term and not suffering from a lot of these things that, that inflammation may play a part in. So I have several listed here: high cholesterol, blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, asthma, sinus infection, so many things that if we can really keep that inflammation down, that can help contribute to a healthier environment so that these kind of diseases have a less likely chance of occurring in our lives. So, we're going to talk about how we can do this and how we can keep that inflammation down and create a healthy environment in our bodies. So one thing that I thought was really interesting was heart disease. Heart disease is one of the main killers in America, and it's just really an epidemic, how that the rates are climbing with heart disease. And so a lot of times when we think of heart disease, we think of cholesterol, triglycerides, that those are big factors, and those are big factors in heart disease. But there was a study at Harvard School of Public Health that showed that the presence of C-reactive protein, which is an inflammatory marker, that plays a huge role in the development of heart disease. So basically this is saying that if your inflammation is higher in your body, you have higher chance of getting heart disease. And one thing that I found interesting was that a spike in inflammation in your body, if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, you're more likely to get gum disease, which is linked to heart disease. So it may all play a role in that. So we're going to talk about how we can really stay healthy and avoid, getting the heart disease, being healthy, hopefully avoiding those things in our lives and just being aware of maybe how they start and, living a healthy lifestyle. So chronic inflammation, what that is we call it the silent enemy because inflammation just kind of grows in your body. It might start in one central area, but it can grow. And then that's when you start feeling it in your joints and you have pain, your digestion, you kind of feel that things are a little off, but it kind of just slowly starts growing. And so it can really play effect in lots of different areas of your body, your kidneys, your organs, your blood vessel, your brain. Hopefully you only have one. But, so it really plays a role in how your body functions. And so we want our bodies to function best way possible, right? And so let's talk about inflammation a little bit. So studies show that a major part of inflammation, that it can actually start in your gut. About 70% of inflammation starts in your gut. And so every time you eat or drink something, you're either feeding disease or fighting disease. And so that's a really good way to think of it. When you're going to eat something, maybe ask yourself, is this going to increase my inflammation or reduce my inflammation? And from your gut, it can spread to different areas of your body. But a lot of times you can feel that in your digestion. If you have stomach aches often or you're not digesting your food so well, that could be a sign of inflammation also. So next time you eat something, just think, is this helping me or hurting me on my journey? Is this fighting disease or feeding disease? Or is this increasing my inflammation or decreasing it? And so we're going to talk about a few ways to do that with food and other areas in our lives. So let's have another poll. Jess, let's get you back on here. Let's have you do the second poll about fats in our diet.
Okay, I can actually only see the answers.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know.
okay. So the question is, the best anti-inflammatory fat is, can you see that, Jess? A, B, C, and D?
Yep.
Okay.
Is A, olive oil, B, coconut oil, C, fat-free margarine, or D, cheese? We're looking for the best anti-inflammatory oil.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
The best anti-inflammatory fat.
Fat, okay. So olive oil, coconut oil, fat-free margarine, or cheese?
Kind of a tricky one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see what the answers are on this one. All right, a few more seconds. All right, Jessica, what did we find out? What did people think?
It looks like the majority of people picked A, olive oil. Are they right?
They are right. Good job.
Yay!
Yay. Well,
Good
looks
job,
like
everybody.
a close second. Close second was coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
That's not surprising. Coconut oil is kind of on the trend right now. But olive oil. Olive oil is actually an anti-inflammatory oil. So the same thing that happens when you have an ibuprofen, which is you take that for inflammation. It's an anti-inflammatory. So same thing, if you are taking an ibuprofen because you have pain or actually inflammation, maybe your ankle hurts or something, olive oil can also do the same thing. And it's quite a bit healthier than taking, an ibuprofen. A lot of times if you take ibuprofen too often, your body adjusts to that and you have to take more and more for it to actually do anything for you. But that can be really hard on your stomach also, taking that. So why not choose a healthier option of olive oil? It's an anti-inflammatory fat, and so that's suggested as the healthiest anti-inflammatory fat. So there's quite a few healthy choices. So coconut oil is actually considered a high inflammatory oil, especially when it's heated. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of movie theaters use coconut oil to pop their popcorn. That's why it tastes so good, right? But it's not so good for you. So that is a saturated fat, coconut oil. But some other great choices would be canola oil, peanut oil, almonds, avocado. And then there's some polysaturated fats, which are vegetable oils, and fish. Actually, we had salmon tonight, so that's a great one. And then things that you want to reduce or kind of stay away from. So in the yellow, in Dr. A's Habits of Health book, he always has charts where it's green means go, red means stop. So on rare occasions, do the red. So most of the time do green, occasionally do, the orange. So the saturated fats would be whole milk, red meat, butter, coconut oil, and cheese. So he doesn't mean don't ever have those, but don't make it every day, all day, right? So talking about anti-inflammatory oils, those would be omega-3s. So I remember that because that's the lesser number. Omega-6s are the more dangerous fats. That would be the baked goods, margarines, hydrogenated oils, those inflammatory oils that we talked about also. So Dr. Anderson recommends ideally to be a 1-on-1 ratio. So half the time, choose a healthier oil. But worst case scenario, 4-to-1. Every 4 times you have a bad oil, make sure you have a good oil. So, but I just try to stay mostly to olive oil. How about you ladies? Yeah, nodding your head. Try to stay with the healthier oils most of the time. And fish, that's a great thing to start introducing into your diet. If you are not used to eating fish, maybe give that a try. That's a great healthy oil, healthy fat there. So let's talk a little bit about causes of chronic inflammation. So some things that can cause inflammation. Number one, what you eat plays a huge role in your inflammation. A lot of people don't realize that what they're putting in their body is affecting how they're feeling. So things that we want to stay away from are processed foods, high calorie, fat, sugar diets. So basically, anytime your blood sugar spikes, that increases your inflammation. Anytime your inflammation's up, it's making your blood sugar spike. It's kind of like a vicious cycle. And so especially diabetics tend to have high inflammation. And so it's no wonder that Dr. Anderson came up with this amazing program, The Habits of Health, all designed to keep your blood sugar balance, which through the habits of health, keep our inflammation down. And so I just love that he just knows how it all works. And if we can really learn how to, eat right, balancing our blood sugars, drinking our water, reducing our stress, getting enough sleep, all the habits of health that we learn, those are all going to help us with our inflammation. So I just love that he just knew how it all worked. So some other things are internal environment. So belly fat, if you carry belly fat, that visceral fat, that is more likely to increase your inflammation. So chronic infections, if you're getting sick a lot and you have a hard time recovering from an infection, that probably means that you have a lot of inflammation in your body. Lack of sleep is huge. Not getting enough sleep can cause more inflammation. And then, of course, frequent use of antibiotics. If you are always getting sick and your doctor keeps giving you antibiotics, that not only kills the bad bacteria, but it's also killing all of the good bacteria in your body too. So learning how to cure your body through food and healthy lifestyle, that's definitely ideal. All right, and next is external environment. So things around us can be playing a role in our inflammation in our body. So exposure to toxins, which would be cigarettes, allergens, radiation, UV, chemicals. So if you are, for example, a hairdresser and you work with dyes a lot in people's hair, that could be causing inflammation in your body. A lot of other jobs work with chemicals. So maybe just take precaution, wear a mask, wear your gloves, make sure you're protecting yourself as best you can. Even mold in your house, if you have mold in your bathrooms, taking care of mold, cleaning out your filters and your air conditioner, things like that can actually affect your inflammation. So just taking those precautions and creating a healthy environment around us. Okay, stress. That is a huge cause of inflammation. If you are stressed, you're probably suffering from inflammation because that's a trigger for your inflammation to rise. So one of Dr. Anderson's habits of health is stress reduction. And so remember to take time for yourself. Do things that you like, that you enjoy. Have a hobby. Take some deep breaths. Get some oxygen flowing into your diaphragm. Let's all take a second and just take a deep breath. Okay? All right. I can actually feel more relaxed. And, taking some deep breaths every day and getting used to taking deeper breaths can help with reducing your inflammation. So these are all things to really be aware of. If you have a stressful job, let's talk to whoever invited you on this call. If you want to learn how to eat better, how to balance your blood sugars to reduce your inflammation, talk to the person that invited you on this call, and let's talk about maybe changing a few things in your lifestyle to help with that. Also creating a healthier environment. A few things we talked about: eating well, balancing your blood sugar, low inflammatory foods. Whoever invited you on this call can help you with a list of that if you're not already on the program. Living a lean and green lifestyle, like we like to call it, where we eat more lean meats and green vegetables. And learning what foods can help you to keep your blood sugar balanced is really helpful. Live at a healthy weight. So it's not all about just getting to that number on the scale, but we want to live at that healthy weight, not just reach that healthy weight. So just like this program, if you are just about getting to the certain pant size and then you think you're going to be done, sorry to say that weight's probably going to be coming back if you're not living a healthy lifestyle. And so just really incorporating the habits of health, that's also going to help you with your inflammation. So if you're struggling with inflammation and you work really hard to reduce that, you change your eating and your environment and your joints start to feel better, just like, Susanna was telling me that after kind of going off her healthy eating program at Christmas and eating a little bit more sugar, her joints were hurting. And so that was a reminder that she needs to get back to the healthy lifestyle. And so same thing with inflammation. Once you reduce it, you got to keep up with those healthy habits to keep that inflammation down. Get plenty of sleep. lowering your stress, laugh, breathe, get out and exercise, and avoid toxins, and drink lots of water. And also involve the people that are around you, involve your kids, your spouse, and just create that environment for people around you also. And one thing that I like to think about is with your kids. A lot of times, especially if your kids don't suffer from a weight problem, I know my kids are all really skinny, and so when it comes to eating junk food, I used to not worry about that because I would think, oh, they're skinny, they can handle the calories. But it's really not about the calories. It's about what that food is doing to their body, to their inflammation. It's about, if that sugar or that spike in blood sugar is going to affect their immune system. Maybe they won't be able to recover from a cold as well. Or maybe, that inflammation will start growing and, just get their body off balance. So think about that next time your kids are eating junk food, or not to say they'll never eat junk food, but remember, it's not about the calories all the time. It's not about the sugar all the time. It's the effect that it's having on them, that it's spiking their blood sugar, that it's causing inflammation, and it may be just starting. It might start young, and it might take years to turn into something bigger. But we can start, even as a newborn baby, making sure that they're getting the nutrition they need and creating that environment of health in their body. So a couple challenges for you guys as we end this call. What's one change that you can make today to reduce inflammation in your body? And one thing that I love is the habits of health. And so just commit to live an optimal, healthy life, that it's not about reaching that number on the scale, but it's about keeping it off and continuing to be healthy so that you can be out walking, like this picture at the bottom. You can be out walking with your friends when you're 90, 100, that you can feel good and be able to live an optimal, healthy life and really have a better quality of life. And so that's my challenge for you today, is think of one change that you can make today to reduce the inflammation in your body. Maybe something that you're struggling with. Maybe you don't eat fish. Maybe that's something that you want to start doing. We do that once a week with our kids. We have Salmon Fish Friday, and my kids love it. Maybe you're not getting to sleep on time. So maybe just set a goal on what you could do to reduce that inflammation in your life. And I look forward to hearing how things are changing for you, and invite other people to join you on your journey. So as we close tonight, I just want to thank you all for joining us again. And I want to invite you to stay tuned. We will have our trilogy presentation. So maybe if you didn't really understand this program that we were talking about the healthy eating, they'll explain that. Or if you want to take a step further and look into paying it forward and really investing in your health for the long term and becoming a health coach and helping other people, stay tuned, and they'll talk a little bit about how that can make a difference in your life too. But we just thank you for being on tonight. We appreciate the community that we have, and it's so fun to see everyone every week and get on these calls and keep working toward our health journey. Have a great night.
The preceding audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.